Hello Pioneers, in the last episode of our MEGAFACTORY build series, we broke ground on a massive 10-station, 80-freight platform rail hub to centralize resources for our endgame factory. This episode, we put our station to the test, hunting down nearby iron and copper nodes and running trains to ensure smooth deliveries. Plus, we bring life to our central hub by adding lights and textured flooring. Will our design hold up under pressure, and can we turn functionality into art? Let's find out. With the exterior of our rail hub done, it's time to start working on the interior, maybe getting some functionality in them, so let's go grab ourselves some resources. I don't know what resource we should start with, maybe iron could be a good test thing, or maybe copper. So let's go find some. Where is the nearest pure node from here? Wow, nowhere near here. Oh, that's a good test though, because that's the whole point of trains, right? There's a copper node south that we've already claimed. There's a pure node there. There's a bunch of pure nodes there. I think this one's a good test case because it's directly east of our train station and we can train over there. So we need to start with the blueprint that can extend our rails out in a particular direction. I used to use roads in my old blueprint, but roads aren't very useful anymore to us because, one, if we want to physically get over to a location, we would probably use a hypertube. But we probably wouldn't drive in a car somewhere, right? So I think what's more pertinent is to just use a new blueprint that can extend rails in a particular direction. So I'm going to go design one. Start off with just a straight section. So we obviously want floor. We're probably going to use what is usually rail tracks sit on. I think normally they sit on a concrete or asphalt foundation. We'll use the same materials as we did for our road. So we'll start with a asphalt foundation and they can just be 1 meter tall. I'm going to start in the center actually, because I don't think I want my road to be 6 units wide. I probably just want it to be 4, I think is more than enough. Because our rail just takes up 2, right? So I'll do something like that, and if we look at our foundations over here where our rails sit, it sits on the outer edge of 2 foundations. Oh, did I do my rails not? It kind of sits on the, it's not, oh wow, I didn't do my rails perfectly in the middle. What? This one's on the inner edge of a foundation, this one's on the outer edge of a foundation. Great. No, it is on the inner edge. It's just, one of these rails is not straight by 1 tile, I think. Yeah, it's this one. All right, that's fine. So they are both on the inner edge of the foundation. Oh, let me just fix this before I break it forever. So it's meant to be here, and I'm just going to create a snapping point out here. Yeah, so they are both on the inner line of the foundation, and then that was meant to go in and snap this way to give the return rail an easy access route back into the stations. So yeah, good. I thought I screwed that up already before I even started my factory. But that's good. So they're both on the inner line of 2 foundations. So that's the tiling that we're going to go for. And again, rails are like super annoying to build. So we have to build from the center out like this. So here, yeah, that's it. So it's something like this. If you're enjoying the video and you want to support DataEngineerPlays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comments section. So it's something like this, right? This is the rail path. Now we can do, this is basically the blueprint we want to use to extend this out into the world. But we want to do it maybe with some decoration. So let's see what I can come up with in terms of how we can decorate this. I like these foundation steps. They kind of look cool. What if we did them out of asphalt? Gives it kind of like a nice little geometry to it. Now we know if we just click these together, none of these rails are going to work. So it's going to be super annoying to actually do this. It's not going to be just like tiling a road out. So we need to think about practical nature as well of this. So I was thinking, what if we basically need to create 1 rail and 1 blank section. And then we need to manually join the rails of 2 sections. And that way we can get it working. That's how it would work. Let me just test how many blueprint sections is a full rail section. I'm going to figure some stuff out now. So this is 2 blueprint sections, I think. If I dismantle this, yeah, that's the start of a 6x6. And then this is the second part of a 6x6. So if I take my rails and then I extend it, it can go past one section of 6x6, and then it can easily hit 2 sections of 6x6. Okay, can it do 3 sections of 6x6? No, it's about 2 sections of 6x6 is the rails join. So the way we would build this, let me just test with a blueprint. Now this part's going to be a little bit weird because the rails aren't exactly in the center of a 6x6, but that shouldn't be an issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to save a copy of this blueprint with just with the rails and one without the rails. So the one with the rails, I also want to give some decoration along the top of the road. And what I mean by that is I like the architecture. If you look at like train rails in real life, if we use some small frame pillars, we can do something like this. Invalid placement. I can't put this on this. What? Okay. I can't put small frame pillars on a step. Interesting. But I can put a step on a small train pillar, right? So if we were to do something like this on the end, and then I put the step back in, that it's happy with. Okay, that's fine. We'll just do it this way. These are 1 wall high, right? So we'll do it 4 high, and we can do a lot of stuff from the end of these pillars. But essentially we want to create a frame thing like this. I think that looks kind of cool. Now, if I put rail signals into the blueprint itself, well, it won't let me do that, right? It'll be like, no, I don't like rail signals here. I can put it into here, into the middle of the rail thing. Okay, maybe we'll do the frame in the middle of each rail section then. That might be a good idea. Let's see which way the rails go. But then when I do it the other way, I need to make a brand new blueprint. What's easier? Like, I don't know. To make 2 sets of blueprints. So if we look at a train station, when it comes out, it's going that way. So that one's going that way, I think. And that one's going this way. It won't even let me put the rail signal on this side. Come on. I know you want to. So that's how our rail block will go. And then in that case, we probably want this frame to be on this side. And then we'll do something like this. And that looks like a pretty decent rail section. Okay, we can start with something like this, and then if we need to modify or add things to it, so be it. I wish I could shift this up one, but it won't let me shift it up one, will it? I mean, I could. I would need to do some pretty fancy, weird architecture stuff to it. Pretty sure if I put something like a 2-meter foundation on top, and then do vertical and go downward. No. And then put a 2-meter foundation directly under it. We can create a snapping point directly on here, which would be the right height. Yep, that works. Starting to learn the building tricks. So if we did it this alignment, and then did it underneath, then we have the correct snapping point that we want, which is here. It just does it like that, but that's fine. Now we can nudge, and then we can go out this way, and then it should link perfectly. There you go. Little trick. And that looks like a nice little frame for the railway. And a train should be able to pass nicely through here. What does the train look like on here? Yep, that looks pretty good. I think I like this. What do you guys think? It's a good start. I think we'll go with this for now, and then if we need to change the design, we can change the design later, I suppose. Is there any cool markings that we can use? I'm going to head back to my base and spend my tokens and see if there's any cool markings we can use. Now I'm back at base. Check out all our coupons that we have. Jeez, 137. Okay, I'll take it. And one important thing I should really always be doing is scanning my hard drives. Before we do that, we were going to research our increased depot expansion. So we need some SAM fluctuators. Why are they no longer being stored into my thing? I thought I dimensional depoted my fluctuators, but maybe I didn't. You guys get to see, oh, if you haven't watched my original series, you guys get to see some of my old base now. Welcome to the mess. Here's our SAM area, and here's our fluctuators. There's 100, no space left in depot. So we'll do another stack, that way we will run out of things less often, I think. Where's my Mercer spheres? Need our Mercer spheres. So we'll have 3 stacks or 4 stacks in storage now. Our last upgrade needs 23.
Dimensional expansion increased to 400%. Parts can now be stored as elementary particles in a hyperdense deconfined state. Normally I'd explain the basic science, but I don't think this one can be simplified enough for you to understand.
We composed a growth song, but you composed a shrink song, so we remain silent. The dance of your bones and organs and veins amuses us.
I understand. Seeing the pioneer perform tasks also amuses me.
Now, we must be missing something in here because one of my viewers said there is a glass roof material, and I thought I bought pretty much everything. Oh, I haven't bought any of this stuff. Interesting. Okay, the customizer, I haven't purchased everything. So we'll add some stuff to cart. I think all of these patterns are going to become pertinent now that we're focusing more on designy stuff. Any cool patterns in there? They're numbers, they're factory icons, paths and things. Cool. I think we're going to put these to great use to give some details to our factory. Tar roof material. Oh, we have glass roof material. That's the one of my viewers said when I asked, can we make the roof glass? And yes, there is a glass roof material. Duh. Okay, cool. Any other foundations that we're missing? Quarter pipes. I mean, I don't really see any particular good use for these. Maybe we can put it in our train line thing, but feels like it makes it more complicated than anything else. Sure, we'll take the industrial walkway since we can afford it. Whatever, industrial railings, fences, metal pillar set, metal barriers. We'll just grab everything now that we can afford it. Employee of the month coffee cup. Employee of the planet coffee cup. Are you getting a golden coffee cup? I definitely want that. And yeah, we'll check these out. Don't need my crappy coffee cup anymore.
The proud owner of the Employee of the Planet cup, only available to fix-it pioneers who saved the day. This cup was created after extensive research produced a substance that has the appearance of gold without actually being gold. It is almost certainly non-toxic. Note, you have been automatically enrolled in the Not Gold Toxicity Testing Program. The paint may be flammable. Please inform us if, when using this cup, you experience discomfort, poisoning, spontaneous combustion, or death. Thank you for your cooperation.
Can you explain to me how I'm meant to inform you if I die, though? Ada, come on. I'm gonna miss my interactions with Ada. That's probably one thing I really enjoyed about the campaign, is just listening to Ada mock us after everything we complete. Now, let's have a look in our patterns. Anything useful for the side over here? Can you do a pattern on this? Oh, you can do a pattern on that. That's good. A crossing pattern, a X pattern. It'll be something like this. A small crosswalk or a large factory zone, half factory zone. Like, it'll be something like this. Does that look nicer or worse? I mean, I think it looks weird. It's like a little bit too much. This kind of looks cool though. Need to make sure both sides are like together or facing the same way. On the inside of the track, I think, is the way to go. They don't tile well. That's the only thing, because I guess they're not meant to be built on a step. Does that look nice? Or should we just do like a crosswalk? Does that look weird? That looks like a super weird pattern. I think we'll go with this, maybe. I don't like the line in the middle. That's the only thing that's bugging me. Try some other patterns. Maybe there's like something cool. Not that. Maybe just like down the middle. Like that to give it some texture. It's a bit much. Don't need a road in the middle of my two train tracks. That kind of looks cool, I think. I think the final thing that we probably want to add is some lighting to this section, right? We've got the texture. It looks kind of cool. Now we've got to add some of our purple highlighting to tie the aesthetics of our factory. Now we can do that with billboards. Let's have a look. Small billboards are too big for this. Square signs are perfect, but we're going to need a lot of them. Display signs, they're too small. Portrait signs. Portrait signs are perfect. So we can tile this with portrait signs, or we can tile the underneath with portrait signs, or the inside. Interesting concept. Interesting concept. Sorry, I'm just amused with myself. Ignore me. I mean, yes, but also it's a bit annoying where it lets me place these. It only lets me shift it this way and this way. How stupid. I don't want to try to create another snapping point for this. So we'll just do it here. Alright, so here's where my rail section ended up with the interior lights on the beam that we set up. I think that looks pretty good. I wonder if we can color the beam. It's a little bit dark for my liking. Chrome finish doesn't do anything. Deuterium finish. These beams don't really do anything, do they? Didn't we get other beams? No, they don't have a different option, do they? Yeah, they only come in black. I mean, what if we color it white? Nope, they don't color. These beams are just always black. All right, that's fine. This is good enough for me. We've spent like half an hour doing this now. Let's get on with our lives. Make sure everything on here is correct and all set up correctly. But that's fine. We can edit the blueprint as we need to. So we'll save that blueprint. Now I just want to test it once because I want to make sure that the train tracks line up before I do dumb stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it should line up here. Can't be on blueprint mode, but yes, they do line up perfectly. Great. I don't want this section here. I want a couple of empty sections first. So now I need to make the empty sections, and the empty sections is basically just this without all the stuff, without all the bells and whistles. So we simply just remove everything except for the road part of it. And then we should be able to save this as train track empty. So the way we build this in theory, and we want to go that way towards the copper, is if we put a train track empty here and line it up, make sure the foundation part lines up like such, like one section, and then we should be able to blueprint this nice and easily. And then we can blueprint add on a train track section. Now this, okay, I can face this either way. It's direction agnostic. I don't have to build two sections. Maybe. I think this, no, it is direction agnostic. I didn't flip the signs. So there's our train track. Now we can get a functional train track now by, in theory, linking this and this. That way my blueprint is functional. It kind of works like my pillars, except there's no pillars. But because we're linking these two sections ourselves, a train, before I build too many of these, let's test that theory. A train should be able to drive across all of this without any issue. Fantastic. And that's how we have to build it, because we can't just build our section over and over again. Otherwise the train, wait, then again, yes, we can't just build our section over and over again, because we know if we have blueprint to blueprint, the train tracks aren't actually connected. So this is how we have to build, and we can build all the way out to our copper mine over there. Now the next thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is incline decline. And what I mean by that is, how do I get up and down stuff? Because we're gonna have to manually build some of this stuff to see how that might look. But essentially, if I say I have like a 2-meter decline or a 4-meter decline, we'll test it with the most extreme version, which is a 4-meter decline, right? Because we might need 4-meter declines at certain points in the map. Probably not here, but at somewhere, right? So I know I can set tracks on here without any issues, right? I can't even set it. Oh crap. I'm falling. Stop that. Jetpack, save me. Oh, I don't have any rocket fuel. I was like, what the hell happened to my ability to get up places? Oh my god, I'm gonna die in some I'm not ready for this. Alright, anyway, without distraction, rocket fuel. Let's get some rocket fuel and let's get back up there. I don't even know if my rocket fuel can get me up there. Alright, we made it. Now, can you not set train tracks on a 4-meter incline? But I've done it before. What? Am I going insane? Train tracks don't go down 4-meter inclines. Alright, we've really got to bear that in mind. I swear I have done it in my game. Maybe not. Okay, that's a really big limitation. So whenever we need to do inclines and declines, we need to make sure we start them real early. Now, I don't want to decline down here because these trees, they're not cuttable. They're like part of the world. So if we want to build our factory that way, we don't want to go down here, right? We need to build above this treetop canopy, which is fine. Works out for me, but let's figure out a 2-meter decline in that case. Now, we don't want to go too far, otherwise we're going to lose jetpack power again and be in trouble. But I do want to have like a decent length of ramp to test with. It might just look a little bit janky, but we should be able to get it done. But if we get this sorted, then we're all happy. So yes, it's a little bit janky, as in, I'm actually okay with that. It's like a tiny little lip. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then we can just do a straight thing down. So we might just have to like build the start section of our 2-meter foundation manually. And once we have it, we should be able to follow a blueprint style all the way down. Fantastic. Okay, I think I understand how that works now, maybe. We'll have to test when we actually need to do an incline. But it works. That's the important thing, and it doesn't look too horrible. I was scared it was going to take a huge like lip and then have heaps of air underneath. But with that, we should be able to continue to build our thing out all the way to our copper mine. So if I go to my map, I've already removed everything on my map. I can probably get rid of this map marker now because I don't need... I'll keep the new factory marker. Figure out where copper is. Another trick taught to me by one of my viewers is to put a map marker and put a beam of light. Here it is. There's a bunch of pure nodes here, and then you can highlight the marker. And then as you head over, you're going to be able to see this beam of light. So you get a rough idea of where you're going. Cool. So I'm going to tile out this train track now. You guys don't need to, we'll tile out a couple together and then you guys will get the idea and you guys don't need to see the rest. So in blueprint mode, I should be able to snap this somewhere. Why is it so hard to snap this blueprint mode? Maybe if I get some height. So I just want regular road now, and regular road is direction agnostic. Actually, both of these are direction agnostic because no matter how you rotate this, the sign's always going to be flipped the same direction. Yep, we chuck out one of these and then we just connect the rails like this. Was that 2 sections? Yeah, apparently that's the maximum. Like if I add a third section of nothingness, it won't be, it won't work. But anyway, let's continue on. So it's just 2 section of blank track and then 1 section of actual track. And then we just join the rails and that's it. And we should have a working train station. Fantastic. Now the only thing we got to do is troubleshoot this signal now. I don't know why this signal is not happy anymore. Okay, let's have a look at this signal. It doesn't like this anymore. I just had to redo the signal. Alright, cool. That wasn't too bad of a fix. But yeah, I think this looks kind of nice. Let's see how this plays with the rest of my factory. I mean, I like the little lip because it's like kind of, this is where the rail starts. And we might do, like, if this is going to be part of our factory, we might eventually do some rails or something somewhere. Railings, not rails. But for now, let's just go with this design. I like it, even though it doesn't have an edge. But I don't want to do an edge, do I? I don't want railings on the side of this. Does this look better or worse with railings? You guys tell me. What's an industrial railing, by the way? What's the difference between a railing and an industrial railing? Let's have a look. So that's an industrial railing. Oh, that actually looks really cool compared to a modern railing. Alright, I definitely need to add these to my blueprints because I think that looks freaking amazing. It's like a little barrier. Check it out. I think we need these in our lives. And I'm guessing these, like railings, these would work on a slope, right? Because I kind of feel like it looks a little bit weird with no edge. Like it doesn't have a thing that looks like it. It's just like too flat, I think. But that looks a lot better with the industrial railing, don't you guys think? They're so hard to deconstruct though. That looks good. I think I like it. I like the industrial railing. We need to add it to our blueprint. Not a massive change. So when you do these blueprint changes, you need to load the blueprint first, I think. Low barrier? I'm very scared of these barriers because they don't work on slants. So that's why I'd rather go with the industrial railing. They look really cool. I really like them. Alright, cool. So I'm going to save the empty one and then we're going to load the one with the train track. It's like a really subtle detail, but it looks really nice. Alright, I'm going to pave my way all the way out to the copper area. Then we will go build our second station and our copper mines. We've pretty much made it. One disadvantage of adding these railings is that now I have run out of iron rods. So we're going to go down to have a look at this copper mine over here. I probably want my jetpack because there's definitely death down there. And we are above a tree canopy, so we're going to have to figure out how we're going to do this station. I'm probably going to just do the station in line with this, but we'll set up all the correct pillars and stuff since this is going to be our actual factory. But here are all the copper nodes, and yep, they're guarded by death. Death and radiation. There's a radioactive boar here, isn't there? Ah, there. Yep, there's a lot of boars here. Let me kill everything. That's one down. Where's the other one? And that's the other one down. All right, cool. Here's our copper mines. Now that radioactive corpse will hopefully go away at some point. And once we build our copper mines, hopefully they will stop spawning. So where's the rest of them? There's more than one here, right? 1, 2, 3. There's one here and 2 here. So that's 3 belts of pure copper that we can extract from here. And 3 belts of pure copper is all we're going to need for the foreseeable future. They're up here. I'm sure there's more death over here as well. Surprisingly not. All right, let's start paving. Well, you guys don't need to see me build a copper mine because we're not doing anything fancy with the mines, I guess, because you're probably never going to see these, I think. So we're just going to build our standard mine. When that's done, I'll come and talk about it. Just set up a very basic miner setup. We're obviously using miner Mark 3s, but we're going to pump max power shards into pure nodes to get our 1200 per minute, because everything here is going to be built to the specs of Mark 6 belts. And if you guys haven't seen Mark 6 belts yet, they look friggin' amazing. So I've built the 3 miners over here. Let me just go power shard this one up. But yes, 3 power shards gets you to 1200. Fantastic, perfect. And these cool force field belts, they should be able to carry 1200 materials. Let me just verify that before I look like an idiot. But yeah, there's our 1200 resources per minute. Now it's over here. I've just put in this lift, and how cool does this lift look? But yeah, this one goes up, and we're gonna lift it up to the train station basically. And the train station is over there somewhere. Okay, so we've still got a ways to go before we get to the train station. So I need to get back up there, extend the station a little bit more, and then we're gonna have to build the station that's actually going to transport the materials. Oh god, I love this rocket fuel. It lets you go so far up. All right, cool. So we need to go out a little bit more. Let's try that out. Okay, that's the next section of track. We'll go link it up. Now we have power here. Let's see where that lift comes up. It comes up around here, which is perfect. Actually, it comes up over there, doesn't it? Wait, where is it? Ah, it's over here. So we want to build a station somewhere around here, and then the train needs to, because this might need to continue over, right? There might be like resources that way that we might need to grab one day, but this is a good test case. So we need to build a station out this way. Now, how can we tile that out? Let me get my regular foundation, and in blueprint mode, we should be able to connect it perfectly like this. Let me get my hover pack back on. Why won't you let me just tile here? There we go. So this is the station. Now it looks a little bit funky being in midair and all. Oh no, I've done it again. Quick switch to jetpack. All right, anyway. So this will be the station. Now the station's gonna be up here, so we can lift stuff up here, no problem whatsoever. But what we can't do is just let it hang in midair, I guess. I don't know about this whole midair hanging. Maybe we'll worry about the underneath later. We'll just get this thing working first, I think. So the station over here is going to have 3 platforms, and I'm just trying to figure out what direction to put it in. So it's going to curve in like this. So I guess it should just face this direction. Maybe I'll go underneath and figure out how we can get up and down here easily. We also need to get power. So maybe we'll do the station first. Oh, I just can't see underneath where my stuff is. Ah, it's here. It's right underneath us. So if I do it, there's the 1, 2, 3. If I do it like here, it should be perfect, like somewhere here. So I'm going to add some more floor this way, and then we're going to set up a station. Oh crap, where did I put that floor? It definitely built my 6x6 blueprint somewhere in the distance. Now this station doesn't need to be anything super complicated, so we're just going to do something simple. So we'll do a station that comes in there. So the train's going to come out there, and then it's going to dock with this station like that. And we need 3 platforms to carry the stuff. I need it to be on the edge of one of these. Ah, it's perfect. It's on the edge of one of these. We'll give it a little bit of space for breathing room. And it's going to need 3 freight platforms. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to call this copper 1 because we might have multiple copper stations one day. Now, this needs to grab from the rail that comes in, which is this rail. It needs to connect into here. So we should be able to snap it to a point here. Where's my snapping points? Okay, I understand. We need a snapping point like maybe here. So we need to get rid of this rail and bring it over here. The big long straight section of track doesn't have a snapping point. Now it has a snapping point. So I should be able to bring this rail now into here. There we go. Now to do that, we need to clear some of this stuff so it doesn't look terrible. Oh god, industrial railings, very hard to get rid of. So we'll do something like this. Why does the underneath bit have texture? What? I must have accidentally painted this. Cool. So that's basically the rail part. It goes in, and now when it comes out, it needs to join to this part of the rail. So it needs a snapping point at some point, but I need to get this to turn first. So it needs to do the sharpest turn that it can. And also this carries power now, doesn't it? Fantastic. Sharpest but straight turn, which is around here. That looks straight to me. And then back to the end of this rail. And then back into one of these. So probably here. And it intercepts exactly on my beam, which is fantastic. So we're going to have to remove this beam as well on this particular one. And we might need to remove some of these signs because they don't make sense anymore. We're going to have to do a proper junction over here. So we'll open this all up and maybe we'll just get rid of this entire section then. Fantastic. All right. So that's what gets the rail working, but we need to make sure that this all works because there's going to be trains going past it and stuff. So we need to get the right path signals and things in. So we need to get the block in, and the block should go here. And then at the end, we need to close the block, which is fine. And then this signal, it needs to go in. It doesn't need to check the signal, but we do need to close off this block to tell it that this train station is its own separate thing. And I mean, there's no more rail to go forward, but when there is rail to go forward, we need to properly modify these signals accordingly. What are you not happy with? Loops into itself. There we go. Gotta denote the train station itself with its own separate section. And now all the rails signals seem to be happy with that. We'll separate this part because there's an intersection over here. Does that mean I don't need this one? Yes, I don't need that one. That one doesn't make any sense. And there we go. These are all now separate bits of rail. So hopefully it will know not to crash into itself. But we should now have a train station that can carry 3 products. So we need to bring these down and then we need to hook in all the stuff. So we need to get power out of here and into somewhere. So we'll start off with a power tower, I guess. And I suppose the power tower can just go here. All right, now we have power. We need to bring power downstairs. Now I might I want to bring it directly down, but I'm pretty sure there's a tree in the way. I wonder if I can get a wall down here for measurement purposes. Because I feel like these things over here, there's going to be some issues. Because there's a big tree in the way. So let me just figure out how I'm going to do this. And once I'm done, I'll come and talk about it. Alright, so I have pulled the power down to the bottom so that the mines can get power. Then I've pulled down some conveyor lifts to get the 1200 belts of copper ore into the station. The belts and the lifts, wow, they look so cool. I swear I'm going to use these as part of the design of my factory just because they look freaking awesome, right? Look at these things. They come with built-in lighting, but now our freight platform has a ridiculous amount of copper ore, so we can look at bringing this now back into our base. So we can set ourselves a train with 3 cars, and we have 3 full Mark 6 belts of copper going into our base. We'll edit their timetable and we will get it to go to copper 1, and I have no idea what the other base part is, so I'm gonna have to go there and figure that out, but that shouldn't be a problem, right? I should be able to turn on the self-driving remotely. So we're gonna head back to base now. Alright, I've set up on my train, I've turned on self-driving. It has managed to make it back here on its own, so that's a good sign. We'll see if it eventually makes it back here with some copper ore now. I don't know why, even though I set it before the train station, it came to here before loading up the stuff, but whatever. We'll go for a ride, why not? really like the track. It looks really cool, I think. But here we are at the copper loading station, so hopefully it'll load up this copper now. And it's loaded up and off it goes. Fantastic. I think that's it. We just got to check that it unloads properly. And here we are pulling into our rail hub. Fantastic. So it'll unload all of these. I've set the freight platforms to unload. So we should have 3 full mark 6 belts of copper ore in our base now. That's fantastic. We're not going to build anything yet. We're still going to focus on doing our train station. But there we go. It has unloaded. We definitely need some lights in here because it's getting a bit dark. Alright, so with the copper ore unloaded, I think I want to bring in a second ore because I don't like to test everything in isolation. I want to make sure this whole system works with 2 trains. So I'm going to go secure ourselves some iron ore next. I think that makes the most sense to bring in next. And it doesn't look like there's anything in our vicinity, which is fine because that's why we built trains. Ah, there is some. Why is there one pure... There's like many pure nodes on the way over here, but they're all being tapped already. What? I mean, one of them is being tapped for something. I think this is the one I tapped earlier for our nuclear plant. So we definitely can't mess around with that too much. But we can definitely go over there and secure the rest. So we're here now. It is the iron ore that I tapped for our nuclear power. So we're going to be a bit careful here. We can't obviously touch this because we need it for nuclear power. But we can grab the other node that is next to me. And then we can grab this node up there as well if we want to. We can do that later. It doesn't really matter. I just need 1 belt of iron ore coming in for now. But yeah, there's 3 belts here eventually that we can take. So we will build a station for 3. So I'm going to do all that. You've seen it before. I don't need to show you again. I'm going to clear out all the mobs, set up the mines, set up the train station above, and bring it all up again. So once that's done, I will come and talk about it. Exact same setup as before, not too much to go through. The iron ore, as you saw, was below this station. So I've just set up a station on this side. Now it's going to go around and hopefully unload all of the iron at the train station on the other side. Hopefully it interacts well with our copper train. Ah, station is unreachable. All right, cool. So let's figure out why. Must be something silly that I did. I ran out of concrete here, by the way. So that's why it's all looking a little incomplete. But hopefully there's only one direction this can go. Wait, I'm on the wrong track. What am I doing? No wonder the station's bloody unreachable. I was wondering why all my signaling is like super weird here. But, oh no, I'm going to have so much iron in my bags. Silly. Connected these 2 rails to the wrong bits. Well, disconnected this rail to the wrong bit. This needs to go onto this track. This track needs some sort of connection point somewhere here, like this. And there you go. And all my signals are fine. I think I can get rid of this signal now, right? No. Doesn't like that. So looking at the colors, we need to have a signal that separates this. So once this comes out for this split, yeah, it needs a signal here. And now this part, this junction is blue, which is fine. This is where path signals also come in. So maybe this should be a path signal because as it enters the junction, we want it to clear this whole section. We don't have to wait for it to like dock into the station. I mean, ideally, I'd like to put a signal here somewhere. Probably like here is better. Just to like make it so that the trains don't have to wait as long while this thing's like trying to dock. Yeah, when it comes out, it'll just go straight through here. That's fine. I think that should be okay. Ideally, we'd like a signal like here and here as well, just to keep this junction as small as possible so that when trains come through here, it doesn't have to wait for all this clearance before it can move. All right, that should be all right now. Let's set up the train again. As this train pulls away, we can see our copper train now has clearance to move. We will need to change some of our stuff to path signals eventually because there is a golden rule that as you enter a junction, you want it to be a path signal, and as you exit the junction, you want it to be a block signal. That's the golden rule. There's a whole complicated video about how it all works, but yeah. We will have to eventually edit some of our signals, but that's fine. When we have more trains and that becomes an issue, we'll start doing that. Because at the moment, I could change some of the stuff to path signals, but I'm not even going to be able to notice the difference it makes. But there we go. It loaded the iron. There's only 1 iron node down there for now, but that should be enough for testing. When we need more iron, we can easily grab the other iron nodes and then bring it over. I think the first thing that we definitely want to make in our base is sorting out the power, which means we need to make singularity cells and all the stuff for nuclear power, because I want to get a proper big nuclear power plant set up at some point, ASAP. But for now, we need to bring in all the materials that we're going to need to do that. So, train station first. Goes in. And then hopefully it goes to number 2 to dock. Why is it slowing down so early? Ah. I think I see an issue. We need to put more block signals back here because all of this is all just part of one block, isn't it? Yeah, all of these need to be their own separate block so that this intersection doesn't have to wait for the entire train. Because it thinks this main rail is part of the actual train station, which is not good. There we go. That should sort that out. I was wondering why it was trying to brake before it even went into the station when the station was already cleared. But that should sort that problem out, and now our copper and iron train should be able to interact separately. So our station is coming along. It is definitely functional. We're going to have to keep observing when we add more stations in, but for now it's kind of fine. So now we're going to have to deal with the actual materials coming out of these stations, right? We've got all this copper over here, got all this iron over here. I'm going to just drop... Hey, what is this thing? This thing's backwards. This is my iron station. I'm going to just change the name and stuff of it. Iron ore. And I'm going to set all these to unload. And I can dump my iron ore in there so I can empty my bags. Great. Our iron station is now set up and our copper station is now set up. So we have 2 basic materials in our base now. We need to go deal with how we're going to store and handle these materials. Now, if you don't know already, the train stations, when a train is docking with them, deactivates the platform's interactivity. As you can see, I can't interact with the platform. And if I had a belt connected to this right now, the belt would stop because there's a train there. So we need to have buffers in between the freight platforms and the actual stations. So I'm going to set up some industrial buffers and figure out how that goes underneath the floor. So we're going to remove the flooring, but I'm not going to do it for all of them. I'm just going to do the ones that actually got material in it, which is 1, 2, 3. So from here, then we're going to go explore the subfloor, which doesn't exist here apparently. I'm going to have to build out my subfloor. Oh man, this is going to take up all my concrete, but luckily my portal's right here. But this bit of concrete that I've built is actually the correct alignment to the main floor. So if I just go into blueprint mode, I should be able to just extend, hopefully. And then we'll just extend the subfloor as we go. And there's all our concrete gone. So let's take a trip back and we'll bring tons more concrete. Now we'll continue our subfloor. We're almost at the hole that we made. We'll extend it this way. Now we need to bring the materials down and into an industrial storage box. So I feel like each one is going to need its own industrial storage box at some point or other. So we might as well just build one. Let's see where we should put it. I guess it can just take up the whole subfloor because it's about that height, right? Perhaps we start with a belt down first, so we can measure like whereabouts the industrial storage should go. Really hard to line this stuff up, eh? Suppose under here is as good as any. And then in theory, that should just go down and into the box. Down and into the box. There we go. That's one down. There you go. There's some copper ore. Fantastic. Now we will do the same for the rest. Now that we have one thing to align to, it should be a little bit easier to do. The toss-up here is between floor holes and regular holes. I still prefer regular holes and catwalks. I think they look better, but I don't know. People might like floor holes better. We should do it from this side so I can actually see the alignment. Does this not align? Are you serious? This has got to align, right? Surely, yeah. I'm going insane. There we go. Let's check they're all going in. Fantastic. Now, when we use the material, what we're going to do is bring it back up to the top and then pull it out to whatever factory is going to use them. But for now, each one needs an industrial storage, and we can start doing the interior of our train station now. So from here, what we want to do is put in some catwalks. So it's going to look like this. Then something like this is going to go all the way across. We'll fill it in for now. And that's what that's going to look like. Now, I don't particularly like the concrete on metal look, so let's try a different material. Grip metal foundation, I think, looks pretty good. Now, I'm not going to bother with these ones because that's all going to be catwalk. I think that looks a lot better together with this. So it'll be something like this. And I think that looks kind of cool because these belts look... I mean, I don't mind the look of these lifts, right? I think they look good. I know a lot of people have problems with them. I mean, we can... If we want to complicate the build, what we can do is build this into here. Like, and then fill in this space in between as well. But I don't know if I want to do that. Because that's, one, more complicated, and two, it doesn't tile too well with the rest of the stuff. So I'm going to leave it as one big long gap. I think it looks kind of cool. Yeah, that looks nice. The other thing that I thought of was just for aesthetic purposes. Notice that on this side, there's actually like a railing. So I wonder if we can build... no, we can't because a train is too tall, right? Is this above or below this thing? Because I was thinking of building a railing that goes around the outside of all of these stations. But I'm not sure if that is a good idea. The first thing I want to do is clean up the power system. So let me just figure out how I can do that. So I'm going to put a power tower just out here somewhere for now, and we can move this power tower later. But we will connect it to this power tower over... Oh, this one's like full. I'll just connect it down there for now. With this power tower, we can now hook this up into a wall power of some sort, and then we can get power to the station properly. Now we'll just run the power along here, along this line, and then just shove it into the wall somewhere. Probably like here. Alright, I've built the straightest line that I can to the wall, and I've kind of got it out here. The one problem with using foundations as walls is that you can't use double wall connectors, so we're gonna have to like manually do that. Just move the power tower over here for now, just out of the way. So we've got power now. I think the next thing we should probably do is some lighting. I'm just thinking about using these ceiling bars as lighting. I don't know if it's too much, so why don't we just do a set and then find out. Oh, they don't even cover the full thing. That's annoying. What about other lighting sources? These floodlights are too tall. These lights are too small. These are not attachable to the ceiling, so it would have to be these, and they'll sort of overhang a little bit. So we'll have to do like a bunch of these like this. And we'll probably need another blueprint for this as well. We'll just do one bar and then we'll see if that looks nice. And if it doesn't, then we'll get rid of it. Too bad you can't zoop lighting. Alright, we've got a full light bar now. I'm gonna hook up the power and we'll test it out. So we'll get that wall power going down here. It's so hard to do power on this scale, but just something like that, connect it into there. I know the power lines are getting a little bit crazy now. Oh, damn it, it looks good. I like it. It's like a big LED strip along the ceiling. And assuming this gives enough lighting down below. Alright, we're gonna have to do this across the entire factory to make it look awesome inside. So let's go ahead and do that. With our ceiling lights all in, our little train station's looking pretty nice. I really like the look of the lights, and hopefully it will illuminate the station at nighttime. We'll have a look at it when it's at night. But the next thing is probably dealing with the transition into the actual factory. So we're using asphalt here, so we should probably have this entire row going out being asphalt. So let me go paint all that in. Cool, that looks a lot better with that asphalt. So now we got to figure out how we're going to link these stations. Maybe give it a proper entranceway would be a nice idea. Get rid of this stupid power pole. And I'm just thinking about lighting it up, honestly. Let's just give the entrance the correct amount of height first. Leave me alone, train. I'm trying to build an entranceway for you. So we use signs again. Probably the single band strip's a little bit narrow for an entranceway. Maybe we can use some bigger signs. Large billboards are like way too much lighting, I reckon. Portrait signs are too small. Display sign, no, that's too small. Large billboards, is this just like too big? Yeah, that's like way too big. How about a small billboard? It goes into the wall, it's fine, right? Oh, but I can't put it underneath. Alright, I guess it'll just be on the sides then. With our standard text layout, and then we will put in our colors. I've got all these saved now. So we can just load in our main purple. And then we'll make the emissive a little bit low. Not too crazy. There we go. There's a nice little entrance for it. It's like, it looks like it's lit up a little bit. That's kind of cool. I like that. Billboard looks like it's part of the wall. I think I could put a billboard upside down here. Nope. But that's still pretty cool. I feel like it needs kind of a border. Also, what happened to my floor here? Right, I deleted it. That looks pretty cool for an entrance, but I just feel like it needs like something, because it's too blocky on the corner. So I guess pillars again will kind of hide our thing. Let's try painted beams. I think beams look kind of cool. They're nice and clean, I guess, compared to a pillar, compared to like a metal beam. And they're painted beams, so we can color them whatever we like if we want to. We can even use it to maybe hide some of this ledging. Nope, that just creates Z fighting. Never mind. But yeah, with a bit of a painted beam, it kind of looks alright. Now the entrance is looking a bit better. Do we need to do it on the inside edge as well, maybe? That looks nice, doesn't it? Looks like a proper entranceway now. Gives it a little bit of shape and color, I guess. What if the entranceway wasn't a square? What if we use an inverted ramp? Maybe that'll make it, give it a little bit more character. So we gave this an inverted ramp here. And here. That kind of looks better. Just trying to remove that blockiness look, you know? I bought a lot of construction materials over for the lights because you have no idea how much construction material the damn lights take. They take so much quick wire, it's crazy. That looks alright. I think it looks better. Like, that's a better entranceway than just a square, right? Everything that's just a square just looks not as good as doing things with a little bit of curve to it. What do we think of that, guys? What do we think of that entranceway? I think that looks a lot better. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And there we go. We have a lovely entranceway now. There's no way I can get the signs up here, is there? There's only some signs that the billboards, they can't go all the way up through the archway, but that's fine. We don't need signs up here. We can just leave it like this. Do we want signs up here? Not display sign. Portrait signs go underneath. Why can't any of these go underneath? How did I do underneath the ceiling signs before? Have I never done... Oh, I did it on a painted beam. Oh, God. Okay, it's possible to do. It's just really big of a headache, so I'm not going to bother doing it. I think this looks fine for an entranceway. Now, I think the last thing that we kind of need to decorate is just the transition between here and here. Right? So, actually it looks kind of fine. I'm just wondering if we should have a railing that goes across here, but then that just cuts into everything, right? There's no point putting like a half railing to the end here. Nah, that's fine. I think we just need to coat the right bit of here with concrete, and then that should look fine. And by concrete, I of course mean asphalt. So basically we want the interior of this to be asphalt. And then that tracks with this, and then this can all be asphalt. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint all this in and get the right road markings for it, and we'll see how that looks. Give a bit of texture in the factory. Now, I painted most of the floor with asphalt and put some markings on, including some platform numbers and some signs, and I think our station is looking fantastic. The lights on the ceiling look great, and it's all looking a lot more organized now that we've got the different color floor foundations. And once we start activating them and putting floor holes in, it'll look even more organized and prettier, hopefully. But I kind of like the look of everything. I was going to put a walkway somewhere, but I think it's already looking a bit cluttered with all these signs. So I don't think I want to do a walkway anymore, unless we want to do one along the very, very top, like a glass walkway. But no, I don't think it's necessary, honestly. I think it looks good as it is. I'm just going to go to the other side and fix the doorway. So we've done a doorway like that over here. This doorway is just open on this side, so it's a little bit different, but that's fine. Having things asymmetrical isn't always a bad thing. Just want to see if I need to do some like billboards or something, or coloring. Nope, this is a different style of framing, so we want to keep it a little bit different. Maybe we will just do the band of light. We'll use small billboards for this, so we'll do the same thing here. So just do something like this. We'll do the same emissive layout that we've done before. Something like that, and just copy that down. Tie the whole building look together. I think that looks pretty good. Nice little entranceway. Now I'm thinking, do we want a band of light that goes along the top here, just to give that nice look to it? And we do have the blueprint for it. Do something like this, just as decoration. I know it's not against the wall, but I don't think anyone's gonna look at that. A little bit of LED light, give the whole, like, use a little bit of purple to tie everything together. I think it looks pretty good. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm not really sure what else. I mean, I think I've reached my creative limits. I don't really know what else to add to here. I think it looks pretty nice, and more importantly, it's functional. We've added a really nice new railway track out into the wilderness so that we can grab all our materials, and most importantly, everything works. And I think that looks fantastic, so we might leave it here for this episode. Next episode, we will start working on our various buildings and the rest of our factory. Our factory so far just consists of this one building. Oh, by the way, I moved the portal out here. But yeah, we only have one building in our factory at the moment. We need to add more, some stuff to maybe process some of this raw ore. I still haven't decided exactly what order I want to build everything in. I have a rough idea of what I want to get online. The first thing being power. So I want to get all the components for nuclear power going at some point, and then we can set up a proper nuclear station before we go into mass expansion, because whatever we're doing is going to require absolutely ginormous amounts of power. And well, obviously we're not consuming very much power at the moment, but we definitely will be consuming a lot of power. So there's two ways we can approach power. Well, we'll discuss it next episode, but one, we can start using those alien power sources, because I have 40 summer sloop. So we can definitely use that summer sloop and build alien power sources, but we need to build alien power matrices to boost them beyond 10%. And the other thing is we could go for nuclear power and build all the components for nuclear power here in this new factory and get them shipped somewhere to a water source, like down here where there's uranium or something, and get nuclear power going that way. But we'll do all that next episode. For this episode, we'll leave it here. We've got this cool little train station now, and it is all working. So if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and a sub. And any feedback or design tips you have, just leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.